touching in my life was with my dad. Friday, after I came from school, with not good news because I didn't have the grade that I was expected, he told me about what things I need to should and do better. And honest with you, yeah, please. He was not telling me in the best mode. Not happy. I came to church and I was not in that mode. I was not in that I go to church. I was like, yeah, okay, I need to go to church. And I remember my dad approached me in the foot washing time. He said, son, I want to wash your feet. That was strange first. But when he was kneeling in front of me, washing my feet in complete silence, I was remembering my dad the previous night, telling me things like, I don't want to replicate it either. And I was looking at my dad, kneeling in front of me, washing my feet, after I did wrong. Because for a kid, there is no option that your dad can do it wrong until you get a little older. So that perfect man that blamed me last night because I was a bad kid, now is washing my feet. And then when he finished, he told me the phrase I will never forget. I'm sorry, son. That was not the right way to tell you what I told you. And when he looked at me with the eyes full of tears, that broke and restored my soul at the same time. Jesus washed their disciples' feet because he says in John 13:15, for I have given you what? An example that you should do as I have done to you. Today we are here to learn, my dears, and to teach. To teach about forgiveness. To teach about unconditional love. Ooh. Jesus took Judas' feet and washed it. And you know what the disciples were dealing before that, right? Who is the most important one? So that was a humbling experience and a forgiveness experience. I don't know who is in your heart that you don't forget or don't forgive or forgave yet. I don't know who is in your heart yet that you still have some resentments or some angriness in your heart. I don't know even if that person is here. But I want you today to wash your feet thinking about that person. But the most important thing, I want you to wash somebody's feet. Listen to this. Because the example of Jesus was not to be washed, it's to wash somebody's feet. To go to the person that is not worthy, that doesn't is made for you to kneel in front of them, and then you go and wash those feet. That's the biggest lesson the disciples learned that night. So being washed is important after baptism, but the most important lesson and the example of Jesus is to wash somebody's feet with that humbleness. So if you can find somebody today, wash those feet thinking that those feet, if that person is not here, those feet are for that person you need to forgive. Maybe it's a father, maybe it's a sibling, maybe it's a neighbor. Maybe it's Jesus and you feel guilty because you did something wrong. Maybe it's somebody that you have for the church because you just have an argument, because we're a family and families has arguments, but you need to go and wash the feet of that person. You have some feelings. This is the opportunity to do it, my dears. To remove the pride, to remove the ego, and go and follow Jesus' example. I want to tell you about my beautiful country. You know that country, right? Spain. Thank you, man. Thank you. Thank you. It's just in the middle, right there, you know? Spain. Beautiful country. I was baptized here in Seville. Beautiful country. What I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be there in 10 days. No, less. In 4 days, 5 days. I'm excited. 5 years I didn't touch that ground. 5 years. And 4 years I didn't hug my dad. That's tough. That's tough. All the time when I talk with them by Skype, that is helpful. I told them, Mommy, Daddy, this is because God called me to be in Maryland. But I am praying that Jesus build our houses in heaven together, because I want to hug you and kiss you every day there. So, when your land is your land, your land is your land. What I'm going to tell you is the place you love more, right? But let me tell you about something that happened last week in my country. This is La Rambla. This is the street that was hit by the terrorist. Yeah? You saw the news? Young people from Morocco that were in Morocco, where you go, Michelle, right now. And we want to support that ministry because it's so much needed. Young people are deceived to do these terrible things. We need to do something, my friends. And we have the opportunity to do it through his ministry, through Pastor Michel's ministry. But that's the street La Rambla. I walked through that street a couple of times. My grandmother lives there. Fortunately, she was not there that night, and my uncle. There were people walking, having fun from all around the world. Then several terrorist attacks happened on the Cambrils, and the Barcelona was the big one. One of these gentlemen took a van, rented, and drive through that street 80 miles an hour, killing as much people as possible. Close to 100 people are in the hospital right now. 13 people were killed that moment, in less than 3 minutes. It's different with this happening in your country, my friend. I don't think I need to talk to you about that, right? It's different. And you know what God is asking me to do for Muslims, right? One of those 13 people was walking right there, was walking in that city in that time. He was walking with his son. His name was Bruno. And he see this van coming. This van was coming just around the place that he was with his son, but more specifically to his wife and his daughter that was on her chest. So that van was driving crazy, and the people were riding all over. It was a crazy moment, and he was driving, and I see the van going to his wife and his daughter. How much time do you have to think there? How much time do you have to think that your lovely wife and daughter are about to be killed by the van that you don't know where it came from? So Bruno took his son in his arms, and he ran toward the van to rescue his wife. And he came just on time to push his wife and through his son to save their lives. But the van hit him. And Bruno lost his life that day, saving his wife and 2 kids. Oh, my dears. One day, Jesus came. And today, Jesus is telling you in this communion service, and he's looking you very close to your eyes and saying, you know what? There's a big bang coming to your life to destroy you. It's a very angry, evil enemy that wants to destroy your life. And he's driving very fast toward you. But I'm not going to step aside. I'm going to put me in the middle of you and him. And that Jesus, my dears, is the Jesus that came and died for you and for me. And that's what the communion means. That we remember that sacrifice. That we remember what he did for us, for you and for me. And that's what communion is all about. So my dears, I want you to experience today communion. But to understand this, to be able to feel Jesus' salvation in your life, you need to forgive somebody. You need to delete and give it to Jesus, all of that fishing and washing somebody's feet. You need to do that before. I need to do that. And then we can come back here and take that bread and that grape juice that remember what our Jesus did for us, saving our lives, and give us the opportunity to keep living until he comes back. So with this, I want us now to move downstairs to wash somebody's feet, to forgive somebody, to restore some relation. Maybe that person is not here today. Doesn't matter. You just take some feet, wash those feet, and ask Jesus to delete that angriness for you and put forgiveness in your heart. And please, if the kids are around, explain to them if they ask questions. And let them be with you and explain to them. If they see you forgive somebody or ask for forgiveness to somebody, they will remember forever. So downstairs we have a women place. Just when you came down in front, you have the women. If some women wants to do by themselves. On the other side of the fellowship, Donaghy Hall, we have the men's place, and then another side we have for couples. If there's any couples that want to do it and ask for forgiveness to each other, because it's also needed, or not forgiveness, but want to say thank you to them for something and want to please them. And then after you do that, please, with all reverence, pray with each other and come up here again so we can partake. And we can remember what Jesus did for us. Amen?